The planet was a cold one, with snow and ice stretching as far as the eye could see. There were no roads, and anyone who came to this place was forced to travel by air or by animal. It had been cheaper to build transports than roads. A nondescript one-story building sat in the middle of the tundra. There were no other structures in sight, only the transports that had arrived 30 minutes ago. There were 3 main groups of transports on 3 different sides of the building, about a mile away. Some men and women occupied them, while others stood in the snow, wrapped in layers of clothing and holding weapons. No one standing outside the building dared fire on an opposite cohort. To do so would mean destruction for all involved. Those outside the single-story building waited for the people inside, 2 men and 1 woman. They had not met face to face in 10 years, not since the last war that had gone on for far too long. The death toll had finally grown so high that the 3 warlords were forced to sit down and bargain. For 10 years, their shaky peace had held. Now, this new warlord, a man from Earth no less, threatened their peace. Those on the outside didn't know what was being said. They only hoped that the people inside managed not to kill one another and could somehow find a way to stop the force of nature known as Prometheus. Cristin de Monaham was thin, and she was from this cold world. Living on a cold world since birth made one hard, or it killed one. There were no other options. Galler de Brinston was the fattest of the group. A scar stretched down the side of his tan face, and he usually wore his long hair back, not bothering to hide the war trophy. Simo de Columbus was between the woman and the other man as far as weight. His hair was cropped close to his head, and his eyes were like stones. Each of the 3 had 1 person standing behind them, their second in command. They held different titles for these people, though it amounted to the same thing. The seconds were here to remember what was said and to light a cigar or cigarette if such a thing was requested. In short, they would act as servants and confidants. The position was coveted and only bestowed on 1 person until their death or retirement. All 6 people in this room had been in it 10 years previously. Cristin spoke first. Her voice was naturally soft, sounding much like the cold wind that blew across the wilderness outside.
We all know why we're here. Something has to be done. The question is, how should we deal with him?
Simo, who was sitting directly across from Cristin, spoke next. He waved his hand like he was swatting a bug as he began. His quarrel is not with us. It was with that corporation and those monsters they breed. Or the Commonwealth from Earth. Why should this concern me? Galler raised his eyebrows. The monsters they breed? How many gigantes do you have in your service? How many are sitting out there in the snow right now? And don't act like the 3 of us are without guilt when it comes to selling the monsters. The 2 men looked at Cristin. Her business was not as widespread as the others, but it was growing. She bred the creatures to create a solid alternative to what had once been a monopoly. Simo shook his head. I was against this business from the start. It still has nothing to do with me. Cristin's face was a mask of disdain.
If he comes for me, Simo, he'll come for you too. Why stop with my army? Why not free the gigantes you 2 possess? You're being stubborn right now, and I'm not sure why. You didn't come here to tell the 2 of us no, so can we stop this charade?